Dickinson and Susan Dickinson were the social center of the village. Even at the first party he attended, there were whispers about an unusual sister of Mr. Dickinson. They called her Camilla. She never attended these gatherings, even though she lived right next door. I also met Mr. Dickinson's sister, Lavinia, who was having a gay time at the party. Lavinia invited me to come play the piano at the house that she shared with her sister Emily. I met all the members of the Dickinson family that night, all but one. I've just been reading an excerpt from the galleys of my upcoming book entitled Scurrilous but True, which details how I assembled the first ever volumes of work by the undiscovered American poet Emily Dickinson. I'm often asked to share my memories of Emily Dickinson, since I was so often at her house. I did look on her face but one time.
Any other questions?
Are you an admirer of Dickinson?
I am. I like to read a lot. I read every day. And don't ask me who my favorite author is, because that's not a fair question.
Impossible.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
You get it.
Yes.
See, this is how I know that people are actual connoisseurs of literature who like to read. They don't ask you who your favorite author is because they know. You don't ask somebody who reads who their favorite author is, because they'll just start listing them.
Like choosing among your children.
Yeah, it's like not even that. I mean,
Not
I
even that,
don't even have children. I feel like I can pick a favorite kid so easily, you know. And then you just gotta be careful with that sometimes. But yeah, that's how I know you actually like to read books for reals. Anybody else?
Where did you learn to speak so animated?
Basically, nobody ever told me to be quiet. So, no, I just, the thing is that when I first started to be a diplomat, I thought you had to be very formal and very, controlled. And when we're young in the United States, they actually do teach us how to do speeches and presentations. So when I was very little, and I was choti Elizabeth, very, very cute, very piatti, I had dimples, and I was still round. So they would have us do little presentations about things like, what was your favorite thing, when you're a little kid? And you would have to bring a pillow or a toy in, and you would have to do a little presentation about what it was about. So I've been having to do presentations since I was literally 5. So you get okay at them after a while. But I think the time that I realized that I could just talk to people, and that is a good speech, was when I almost fell asleep during somebody else's speech, and it was a good speech, but I'm sitting here going... If you have ever sat through a lecture that was that painful, and it's just and the square root of 4 is 2, and this will all be on the test, and do not... Oh, y'all, I don't even remember what the speech was, but I remember that I almost fell asleep during it. I may have actually taken a nap while my eyes were open. And I was like, this is the most boring thing ever about an interesting topic. And so I just decided I wasn't going to...
I've not met before, because most of you are familiar faces, and I'm very, very glad to see the ones who've joined one of my sessions for the first time. I know you're a member of the American Center family. I have to start with an apology. I was stuck. Inclement weather, but more important than inclement weather is the situation in our city at this point in time. And even though it was frustrating, I know what was happening outside is for a cause, and that cause is important. So I also understand that you will understand, and pardon me this one time. About this film, Wild Nights with Emily, I had the pleasure of attending one of the premieres of this film 5 years ago when it came out in 2018. I was on my Fulbright scholarship then at Brown University, so when Priyanka and I were discussing about what film can be screened this month, and I saw this as an option, I definitely voted in favor of it. So what I wanted to discuss today, at the start, is the context of the film. This is 19th century America. Emily Dickinson is a female writer. She's a poet. And, as we later discovered, she's also very, very queer. So what does that mean for the 19th century? I will ask you a few questions. I want the answers from you. Has anybody heard of George Eliot before? And not my students, you have.
Yes.
You have. Who is George Eliot?